Welcome, fellow doggers, friends, and fans, to another edition of Off the Hook here on BigDawg Music Radio, produced and directed by Lisa Day. Each week we like to get together and spin some fabulous tunes by the very talented artists at BigDawgMusicMafia.com and get to know one of our fantastic culture warriors who will be joining us in about 15 minutes. If you'd like to be a part of tonight's show, you can call us at 347-838-8898, or you can hit the little Skype button at the top of our player at our Blog Talk radio station, BigDawg Music Radio. So we hope that you're at home, relaxed, with your boots kicked off, sitting in your favorite chair, with your favorite person, and your favorite beverage, and we hope that you'll enjoy the show. I'm your host, Lisa May. Welcome to Off the Hook. This is BigDawg Music Radio, and tonight we are excited to be welcoming to the show John Publicover, who is the president and co-founder of Project Red Leaf, which is a grassroots organization focused on voter registration. You'll get to hear all about his efforts, which are to be saluted, and he's doing something that is direly needed in our college campuses today. And we'll be talking about his project as well as his involvement in the upcoming Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC 2014. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and kick things off with some music, as we always do. And Mr. Chip Murray is going to be one of the artists performing at our upcoming rally in Waynesboro, Tennessee, April 25th through the 27th, the Defend the Constitution rally. If you haven't looked at the website that Mr. Bing Fisher put together for that, definitely check it out, defendtheconstitutionrally.com. And so Mr. Chip is going to be performing his wonderful, soothing music, and we used to end every show back when we did the Culture Warriors and the Fan Jam on BigDawg Music Radio. We used to end every single show with this particular song, and I thought I'd go ahead and kick off today's show with this song by Mr. Murray. It's called Tip Jar.
Holding on to you is down to me and you. Everything I've loved is gone. You're the reason I live on. Please give me one more song from the place where I belong. We're holding on to fear. We've sung so many years, my friend. If I lose my faith in who I am, when the tip jar breaks, I'll be lost again. That's not what I came for. I play for so much more. So let it out, don't keep it in, don't let another day begin without a song in you. It gets cold on that street when you've lost your beat, my friend. Don't let them take it from you. Holding on with you is all that we can do. 2 songs, 3 songs more, my friend. We'll touch them where they live, my friend, and you know they'll want us back again. And God knows why that's true. We were born to play for you. So let it out, don't keep it in, don't let another day begin without a song in you. It gets cold on that street when you've lost your beat, my friend. Don't let them take it, no, we're gonna make it, my friend. Don't let them take it from you.
Okay, so that was Mr. Chip Murray with Tip Jar, and apparently Boyd can't hear me, but Richard can. So I'm hoping that everything is working like it's supposed to. Do forgive our technical hiccups. We have a whole new setup here in this new location, and yeah, we're trying to work through the bugs because we want to be able to deliver this show with no technical issues, especially since we are going to be broadcasting live from the CPAC conference, CPAC 2014, which is March 6th and, let's see, 6th through the 8th or 5th through the 7th. It's the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the first Thursday, Friday, Saturday in March. And it is at the Gaylord National Harbor Hotel. Beautiful, beautiful venue. This will be their second year doing the biggest conservative gathering of the year at that location. So we're very excited about Big Dog Music Radio being on Radio Row for the second year in a row. And we have a few other things coming up, some exciting news coming up in the near future, which we will hopefully be able to share more of next week. But before we get to that, let's go do a quick roundup. First, we have our birthday shout-outs. We have Mr. James Nicholson and Mr. Kevin the Iconoclast celebrating a birthday today. And tomorrow we have David Reynolds and Jerry Fowler. So happy birthday to our fellow Big Doggers. And if you've got some exciting news, we want to remind you that we'd love to have you share your news with us so that we can mention whatever it is that you want to share on our shows each week during our Big Dog Music Mafia news roundup. And all you have to do is send us an email at bigdogmusicradio@bigdogmusicmafia.com, and we'll be happy to let folks know about your exciting news. Let's see. So, other than it being awfully frigid these days, okay, so I'm being told I need to bring my mic up a little bit more, so I will do that, and hopefully I'm not blasting y'all out. It's been awfully cold here in Virginia, and in the single digits, and with that wind whipping around, oh, it's just not fit for humans to be out in the cold, and especially not fit for your pets. So if you have pets, do not leave them out in that freezing, frigid, cold weather. And from what I heard earlier today, they're expecting another round of Arctic temperatures. Isn't that just such a joy? Especially, global warming, and all that stuff. I haven't seen much of Al Gore these days, have you? Anyways, so let's see. Tomorrow we have Salt and Light from the Right, which is our 30-minute inspirational show at 8 a.m. Eastern, right here at Big Dog Music Radio. And we hope that you'll tune in. We're going to share some inspirational music and readings, select readings from the Holy Book, as well as some books that like to take the scripture and put them in layman's terms and day-to-day scenarios, life situations that you hopefully will be able to relate to. So that's at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And then at 9:30 a.m., we're happy to say that Jimmy J is out of intensive care. I mean, he's still not out of the woods. He's having problems with his heart, and so he is being seen regularly by his doctor. And if it weren't for his wife Joanne, he says he doesn't know how he would make it. But even when he was in intensive care, Tuesday night on Mr. Trade Martin's show, Wednesday at midnight, Jimmy J actually called in to the show, laying in bed in intensive care, and then he put the doctor on the line, and I forget what it was that Trade said, something about injecting a rabbit, something about some old-fashioned pregnancy test, which I had never even heard of. If you missed the show, definitely check it out, and you can always tune in this coming Tuesday night at midnight, which is 9 p.m. Pacific, for Mr. Trade Martin's show, Wednesday at midnight. And next Saturday at 10 p.m., we will have our very first, our one and only creative strategist, Mr. Raymar Tirado. We're excited about bringing him onto the show. And look forward to what he's got to say. He's got a very interesting website, very outstanding poems and writings that really make you think. And so definitely want to check out Raymar if you can be here next week. And if not, if you miss the show, we always post these podcasts at our Blog Talk radio station after the show. And we also have them on YouTube, as we are broadcasting the show on our BigDawg Music radio station, as well as our BigDawg TV station, which you can watch at BigDawg Music Radio by going to the BigDawg TV tab and drop down to the chat room. Of course, you do have to be a member of BigDawg Music Mafia to join us in chat, and it's free to join. So, there's no reason not to. We have some fantastic talent at our site, and movers and shakers, including our guest for tonight, Mr. John Publicover and Mr. Raymar Tirado, are two new exciting Big Doggers who are going to be part of the BigDawg Music Radio contingent at CPAC 2014. And I'm guessing that is John on the line. So before I bring him on, I want to just welcome and let everybody know that John is originally from New Hampshire. He is a student at the University of Tampa, and he began working on Project Red Leaf during the 2012 general election. And this was when he was helping organize registration efforts in Tampa Bay. Now, a sophomore, he reflects on the fact that his parents encouraged him to develop his own political viewpoints independent of theirs. His enthusiastic embrace of conservative politics was just the momentum needed to propel Publicover to take his passion to a national level, developing Project Red Leaf. And what I just read was an excerpt out of an article that was published at Red State. And so, is that you, Mr. John?
Hello, Lisa. Thank you for having me this evening.
Oh, it's a real pleasure, and this is our first time actually even communicating.
It is.
Yeah, our producer, Miss Lisa Day, is I know that she's been coordinating with you quite a bit, and we're real excited that we have you not only on tonight's show, but as a member of Big Dogs, because I know Lisa has told you all about what our mission is, and what you're doing is crucial. So why don't I stop talking, and why don't you give us just a little bit of background, about how you grew up, what your parents' politics were like, and when you knew you were a conservative.
Sure. So growing up, I'd always read the newspaper and watch different news articles, television, whether it be Fox News or MSNBC. And growing up, I never really thought too much. About politics. And just reading reading and watching different news sources, I consider myself an independent. Why? Just because everyone else is an independent. And my parents tried to not preach or not influence my decision in any way, and told me that I needed to make my own decision apart from theirs. So the more research I did and the more involved I got, I like I said, I would consider myself an independent just because everyone else was. And it wasn't really until I got involved, actually at a college organization fair at the University of Tampa, where I really would consider a conservative individual. But there was the organization fair, and all the different booths had presentations. So I went up to the college Democrats, asked them a couple questions just about the economy, just about the military, and their thoughts on different issues. And I didn't really like what I was hearing. A lot of them didn't seem very projecting their thoughts towards me. So I took some notes and went over to the college Republican table. Mm-hmm. And so I was talking to these individuals, and every single word that I was talking and that I was listening to, I don't know why, but I just clicked. Everything just clicked with them. So I started attending their weekly meetings and starting to get to know all the guys and girls in the group, and literally just fell in love with the people in the organization, where we would just sit for hours, and I would listen to their different issues, and I would give what I knew, and we would just discuss different issues, whether we were talking about, let's say, healthcare or job market or product. I got involved at the University of Tampa, where I would actually say that I was a conservative individual.
And so then what made you decide that you needed to take things to the next level and begin Project Red Leaf?
Well, I was doing great question about it, but I was working with some voter registration work because that was one of the missions for the University of Tampa's college Republicans, was to get like-minded individuals out to vote. And so we were sitting and we were thinking about ways, and I had a couple friends all doing some tabling, trying to encourage voter registration in the Tampa Bay area, and we were moderately successful. And as we would sit there day after day after day, we'd slowly increase saying people who would vote, and then we could finally register people to vote, because in the state of Florida you need to be a certified 3P VRO to register people to vote. So we got that all set up and started registering people, and a lot of people, we got a huge turnout towards as the election got closer. And I thought, college Republican group or young Republican group or college conservative group doing something like this on their college campus. So I thought that I would take the initiative and kind of be the catalyst to encourage every college Republican, young Republican, college conservative group on their college campus to take the initiative to start registering people to vote at their college campus. Because too many students either were like me and consider themselves independent because everyone else was, or consider themselves a Democrat, again, because the majority of the population are, especially on college campuses.
Right.
So, yeah.
So now you had there were some interesting statistics that Red State talked about the millennial generation, and right now I guess it's 1/5 of the electorate, and by 2015 it's supposed to account for 1/3.
Yes. Yeah.
But what's the breakout? We were probably in trouble if it continues on the path that it's on, aren't we?
Oh, I definitely agree. I definitely agree, which is why we need to take the initiative and encourage people who might not have wanted to vote to actually vote, or to educate individuals about personal responsibility, about limited government, about free market enterprise, and about different policies, so that they're brainwashed by the liberal media bias, so they can make an educated voting decision.
Now, let me ask you this, because I know that at the CPAC conference every year, half of the attendees, almost half of the attendees, are college conservatives and libertarians. And in past years that I've been there, they've always had the presidential straw poll, and Ron Paul always came out on top. Now, I'm pretty sure he didn't come out on top during this last one, but in previous ones, have you had any issues or concerns with the more diehard Ron Paul fans and libertarians that say that they will never vote for a Republican? They won't vote for the Democrat, but they won't vote for the Republican. How do you address that?
Well, what we do, we actually work very closely with many libertarian groups on college campuses, and we take a little of their knowledge and we teach them what we know. And that's a very good question, by the way. There's not a lot we can do to persist and tell them to vote Republican over Libertarian. But what we do is we give them different statistics. And let's say by them voting a majority for a Libertarian-like candidate, well, that's going to take away a lot from the Republican candidate, which might give the Democratic individual maybe just enough votes to take the seat.
I'm sorry, you broke up right there at the end. You're kind of breaking up every now and then.
I apologize for that. I'm calling from my dorm room at the University of Tampa.
Ah, okay. I bet it's a lot warmer where you are than where we are right here in Virginia.
I would say so. I mean, right now, living in Florida, I would call 50 degrees cold, but most people die for that, for the 50 degrees.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think I saw a meme on Facebook where some Floridians were dressed in sweaters and knit hats and gloves because it was 50 degrees, and we had they showed people from up north basking in the sun in 50 degrees.
Right, like laying out and tanning in the 50s.
Right, exactly.
50 degrees.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, so what exactly now? Right now, you're at 8 colleges. You have affiliates at 8. Tell everybody how the process works and how a college gets added as an affiliate of Project Red Leaf.
Sure. So what we've been doing so far is trying to reach out to different universities, and a lot of the work has been done on Twitter, getting in touch with all the different college Republican groups, young Republicans, etc., reaching out to like-minded individuals who have Twitter. Mm-hmm. And we reach out to them, we talk to them, and we ask them if they're knowledgeable of Project Red Leaf. And most individuals say no because the organization is relatively new. So I invite them to check out the website, which is www.projectred.com.
I'm sorry.
For 3 minutes,
I'm going to repeat that because you broke up there. So for everybody, that's projectredleaf.com, and folks are going to be able to see the video. You probably don't have the video up, but I've got your website information on the video, so we'll definitely make sure that we let folks know.
Oh, perfect. Yes. Thank you for that. But yes, it's projectredleaf.com. And I ask individuals to take maybe 2 or 3 minutes to skim through the website to see what we're all about. And then I invite the individual to either Skype or FaceTime with me. Okay. And I just like to... Pardon?
I said, that's cool. FaceTime. I didn't, So you invite people just to get on... Well, I guess that's something you have to have an iPhone for?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I invite them to either Skype or FaceTime with me, and our conversations usually last about 10 or 15 minutes. I give a personal view of what Project Red Leaf is, how we started out, where we'd like to go, and how we can get the individual whom I'm video chatting with to get them involved. Mm-hmm. And so depending on what state they're in, so let's say they attend the University of Tampa. Let's just say we don't have the University of Tampa affiliated with us. I'd be Skyping with the individual, and I tell them that in Florida, to register students to vote, you need to be a certified 3P VRO, which is a certified a third-party voter registration organization. And so what we do is I'd send them all the documents that they would need to fill out, just saying that legally, if you're going to register people to vote as a third-party organization, you're going to submit all the forms from a legal standpoint, X, Y, and Z. Get all that taken care of. So let's say in Hillsborough County, legally they're registered people. They're allowed to legally register individuals to vote. But let's say the student goes to the University of Texas. The voting registration law might be a little bit different. You might not need that legal representation on paper allowing people to register to vote. So if it's a state that we have yet to deal with, I'll tell the individual that it'll take a little bit of time, and I'll research the voter registration laws in the state.
Oh, wow.
In several days after that, I'll invite them to summer Skype with me again, give them any updates I have, and move forward. So get all their paperwork submitted to the supervisor of elections. If they're in a state where nothing is required, we try to send them some information on how they can reach out to students and effectively just.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up again. I think I hope we didn't lose you. It sounds like
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah,
perfect.
You kind of faded out there for a minute. Well, gosh, I mean, that sounds like it's a very thorough process that you have where you're helping these folks out in an enormous way, and what an awesome thing that you're doing. What do you what has the result been so far? As far as, have you seen tangible results?
We have seen tangible results. However, it's gone both ways. I like to sit down and talk to people about politics, even when we're registering people to vote, because most people, 9 times out of 10, even if they don't know anything about politics, would consider themselves a Democrat. And I ask people, I want people to figure out in their head why they would think that. And so I give them a scenario. So let's say we were talking about raising welfare. So I give them this scenario, and I say, well, pretend I'm the government for a minute, and I'm going to give you 2 options. You can either sit at home and feed off the government, or the second option would be maybe to find a job, get work, but have 30 or 40% of your income taken away from taxes. And I ask the individual which sounds more appealing. And most college students, they're in college to find a job. And they want to find a job, but they also hear that 30 or 40% of the taxes is a very not appealing for working. Right. And so we say that some of that 30 or 40% will now has to cover those people who might not want to work, who are able to work or physically able to work, mentally able to work, but who just don't have the attitude to work. Right. And so once people realize that, all right, wow, once I actually have a job and I have to start working, or even if look at your paycheck. Let's say you earn $100. You're supposed to earn $100 a week, and you're only walking away with $55. A lot of money that's taken away. So I just ask students questions like this for them to think about, and then ask them to register them to vote. But on the second side of that, for Tampa in particular, during the 2012, let's go back. As of 2008, without the assistance of Project Redleaf, for Precinct 165 at the University of Tampa, there was 1,301 registered voters, and there was 228 total votes for a Republican candidate. That's not saying that all 1,301 voted. There was 228 total votes for the Republican candidate in the precinct that the University of Tampa resides in. Now, as of the 2012 results, with the assistance of Project Redleaf, in Precinct 165 with the University of Tampa, we had 1,839 registered voters and a turnout of 434 total votes for the Republican candidate. And with the assistance of Project Red Leaf, the number of conservatives that voted for a Republican candidate almost increased by 100%.
Wow.
So those are huge numbers, especially on a college campus.
That's outstanding. Now, do you go around and speak at a lot of these events and let people know basically kind of what you're saying here on the show, giving them, those examples of when you talk to college kids that are, college students that think they're Democrat, and then you give them a scenario like you did, and they realize, well, wait a minute, maybe I'm voting the wrong way. And honestly, they always refer to the quote unquote low information voters in the media.
Right.
And that's the problem. And it's being done by design because Hollywood and all the music industry and basically our culture is saturated with the progressive agenda. And through using celebrities and athletes and organizations like the NFL that won't allow a pro-gun commercial, a guy protecting his family. It's all of that. It's the constant barrage of progressive ideology being rammed down our throats through our television sets and through our radios. So, that's what we're doing at Big Dogs to try to counter that. And have you thought to in your travels and in your conversations with your fellow conservatives on the campuses, ask them if they've got some kind of talent or something that perhaps they could use to help educate people, because I'm sure you know who Andrew Breitbart was, and he his statement has always been that politics are upstream, or culture is upstream of politics, and that you're not going to change how people vote unless you change how they think. And short of what you're doing, which is actually going, to the campuses and really educating them, which is absolutely admirable and crucial, but not everybody can do what you're doing. And so, through the culture, we're hoping that we can change people. What are your thoughts on the whole culture thing and how we can turn things around?
Well, on the whole culture thing, I know that on some universities, there's individuals who might be 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, trying to register students to vote. And we even had individuals like that at the University of Tampa. And I saw very minimal effort on their part trying to get students, and even less of an effort of students wanting to go up and talk to these individuals. So what Project Red Leaf is trying to do different than that kind of model is have it solely be college students connecting with college students.
Mm-hmm.
So if I personally, I would like to speak to another individual my age,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe about a topic, instead of maybe somebody who's twice my age trying to preach to me about something. So by having that age relation, that we're both we might be sharing the same business class together or the same biology class together. You're not an outside person. I know that you're somebody I can actually talk to and relate to,
Right.
Which is why we set up all these we partner with organizations that are already on these campuses to have that personal connection with the other students on their campus. And I feel by doing that, we'd be able to increase the results and register more Republicans to vote for more Republican candidates.
Outstanding. I had to chuckle when you said people twice your age, and that would be me. Probably more.
Yeah, but you're different.
I tell you what, I was thinking as I was chuckling about that, I so want my son, he'll be 11 in a couple months, to be as passionate about conservatism and sharing that message as you, and so, you know, you guys, you're the future leaders. You and your generation, you are the future, and it is, like you said, it's easier for, or fellow college students are going to be a lot more receptive listening to someone, you know, to a peer, than to some daddy, you know, that's preaching at them. Wow, that's awesome. You know, I'm looking at the time, and we've been so fascinated with everything you said. We blew right past our half-hour commercial break, and this is a music-based show. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play a promo and station identification, and then we're going to play a song by an artist named Brian Futch, who's from Atlanta. And he's also one of the artists that are going to be performing at a rally in Tennessee on April 25th through 27th, which is defendtheconstitutionrally.com. In fact, you know, it would be really cool to have you, perhaps, if you're able to swing it, speak at that event. We'll talk more about that later, but your message is absolutely crucial, or your work with Project Red Leaf, and you know, the more campuses you guys can establish affiliate programs at, the better, especially with the 2014 elections coming up. So we're going to go ahead and play those promos and the song, and when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you've done, as far as some of the events that you've attended and spoken at, as well as I was looking at your Facebook page, and it looks like you've traveled quite a bit. So we'll pick that conversation up in just a few minutes. All right?
All right, sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi, this is Gabe. Don't forget Sunday on 9:30 on Big Dog Radio. It's the Sunday Funhouse Show, called Today in News, with Trade Martin and Jimmy J. These two guys are crazy. Maybe you'll get a little crazier if you listen to them. Sunday morning at 9:30, right here on Big Dog Radio. Ruff, ruff.
Hey everybody, this is James Cole, singer, songwriter, and lover of liberty. I'd like to give a big shout out to BigDawg Music Mafia. And once you stop by my site, give me a shout out yourself and say hello at www.jameskole.com. See you soon. Keep up the good fight.
When they seize your property, ooh, don't tread on me. Everybody says that you're too young. Everybody says that you're too old. You're too fat, you're too skinny. You're too timid, you're too bold. It doesn't really matter what they say. You can be anything you like. 'Cause today is the first day of the rest of your life. The rest of your life, yeah. You've been beaten by your demons. You've been blinded by your tears. It's time to break those chains that keep you shackled to your fears. It doesn't really matter where you've been. You can go anywhere you like. 'Cause today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day. Today is the first day. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Yeah. So get up and meet your future. Get ready for the ride. Take a good look in the mirror and tell your past goodbye. It doesn't really matter where you are. Just spread your wings and fly. 'Cause today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day. Today is the first day. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Oh, today is the first day. Today is the first day. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Yeah. It's the first day of the rest of your life.
And that was Brian Futch with Today. And we have been chatting with the very impressive young college Republican, Mr. John Publicover, who is the president and co-founder of Project Red Leaf, which you can learn all about by listening to this show if you're just now tuning in, or by going to projectredleaf.com. Welcome back to the show, Mr. John.
Thank you very much.
I am really looking forward to meeting you at CPAC. Have you been to CPAC before?
I have not. I've not had the opportunity to be at CPAC. However, I'm extremely excited to meet you, as well as your colleagues, and see what CPAC's all about.
Oh, you are going to just be blown away. A couple words of advice. Bring lots of business cards. Because the networking alone is worth the price of admission, and I know that they give college students the discounted rate. I think it's like $25 or something. It's really a small amount, and I learned this from the president of the American Conservative Union at a planning meeting, where he said that President Reagan made them promise that they would always make CPAC affordable to our college conservatives. And so that's a promise that they will always keep, because obviously you all are the leaders of the future, and it's very encouraging to see that out of the 10,000 plus people that show up each year, and each year it seems to get more and more, and now that they've got a bigger venue, who knows how many are going to show up this year, especially being an election year with the midterms coming up. But 50% of the participants are college students, so you're definitely going to be meeting all kinds of people there. I know that there's organizations like, you've heard of Alex Smith, right? I think she's in charge of, she's the chairman of, I think, College Republicans Foundation or something like that. I can't think of the name of the organization. And then Young Americans for Liberty. There's a lot of other groups that are out there, but they all have a different focus, where yours is strictly on voter registration. So what do you hope to get out of CPAC?
Well, I've had the opportunity to attend other conferences on a smaller scale, where I've had the opportunity to meet Senators and Senator Ron Johnson. And so one of the big things I'm looking forward to is hearing from hearing the inspiration of these leaders that we all look up to, like the Senator Ted Cruz and all the other individuals who are going to be there. Yes. I'm just ecstatic to not just see them, but let alone hear what they have to say, and teach us what they know, and how they got to where they could be. Mm-hmm. And as you were saying, the networking that could be done there, especially since 50% of the attendees are college students, that's a perfect target audience, because we're all like-minded individuals So it's a great target audience for Project Red Leaf to potentially expand and grow on as many college campuses as possible. Because once we're able to expand to a large number of college campuses, then we're going to see large differences in the voting results, especially done on college campuses.
Fantastic. So now you said you've spoken at some other events. In fact, the picture that we have of you is of you speaking at a Young America's Foundation, YAF, event. So how have when you've spoken at these events, have you gotten a lot of people excited or involved in what you're trying to do? Is that your primary method of getting people on board, is by going to these different events and speaking?
That's correct. So when I speak at different events, I like to talk about how there's many organizations that do a lot to educate individuals and so forth, but we want to take it one step further. And once these individuals, let's say the College Republican group at the University of Tampa, is educating individuals about whatever topic, we want to take it one step further and give them the ability to actually make a difference, whether it's on the state, the local, or the federal level. So that's what I like to talk about, is bring it to the next level, so we actually see the change being done, and we can see the results in the ballot.
Excellent. Now, totally switching gears just a little bit, because I'm curious. I thought on your Facebook page I saw pictures of you overseas.
Yes.
So were you doing stuff for Project Red Leaf, or was that just that was pleasure and not business?
No, that wasn't political related. I was actually doing my study abroad in Buenos Aires, Argentina, for about 6 months.
Oh, wow.
So I got to live with a family down there. Had an absolutely incredible experience. I went to university for about 6 months in Buenos Aires.
Oh, wow.
Met some incredible people from all over the world, whether it be from the United States, from Argentina, from Ecuador, from Norway. Just some of the most incredible people you could ever wish to meet in your life, all going through the same thing you're going through, living in another country, taking courses in another language, and eating food that you might not have tried back home, and it's just an absolutely incredible experience. And I encourage anyone, if they have the opportunity to travel overseas, to definitely do whatever you can to make it happen.
That is just too cool. So were you nervous when you knew you were going to be going and living with a family that you'd never met before? I mean, how was that? Or did they just make you feel right at home right from the get-go?
I wasn't too nervous about that in particular. I was a little bit more nervous about taking courses in Spanish than anything. Because in high school I took some Spanish classes, and at my local restaurants I always ordered food in Spanish whenever we'd get Mexican or anything. So I knew some Spanish, and then I went to Argentina and wanted to take courses in Spanish, so it would bring my Spanish to the next level, where I'd become fluent in Spanish. And ultimately by taking these courses, by living with a family who didn't speak English, and even with my friends from the United States, when we were all hanging out together, we would only speak Spanish, just because we were all there to perfect the second language, or even third language for some people, and just always trying to grow your knowledge and learn as much as you can.
Well, just the way you said Buenos Aires, I mean, it was like, wow, the accent is flawless. And I'm a linguist myself, so, it's like, it warms my heart to hear people speaking a foreign language using the correct pronunciation, enunciation. That's impressive. You are.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Young man, and I bet your parents must be beaming with pride.
They are, and I think they're listening to the radio show right now.
Oh,
everyone.
All right. Well, to your parents, you guys did a fantastic job raising your son, and I can only hope and pray that my son will be doing the kinds of things that you are doing now. Really want to salute you, and truly looking forward to working with you at CPAC and watching you do your thing. And I think you're just going to be blown away. You're going to have it, because CPAC's nothing like a lot of these other conventions and rallies. This is just, there's so much to do, so much to go to, and a lot of times you want to be in more than one place at the same time, because there might be, Ted Cruz might be speaking in the main ballroom, but there might be some voter registration seminar, in a side room. But I think they might be trying to avoid that this year. I think that was one of the critiques, was that there were, they were putting headliner speakers at the same time that there was all these panels, moderated panels that people wanted to go to as well. So I think they're going to try to do some creative scheduling. So anyways, I'm looking at the time, and we are pretty much at the end of the show. My hat's off to you. You're doing something that absolutely is crucial, and I wish you all the best in recruiting more affiliates, so that at hopefully in not too distant future you'll have hundreds of college campuses enrolled. Now, are you getting any kind of support from any of the major conservative organizations?
In terms of reaching out, it's been hard to get a large backing, just because we are a smaller organization. But we're trying to do trying to make as much effort as we can with the zero financing, with the zero name brand that we have, to show all these larger, maybe the larger super PACs, the larger organizations that, all right, you guys, this is what our dream is, this is what we're making. We can keep our dream and actually change statistics. That one student at a time will make a difference, and the more students that we can get involved, will actually show that these larger groups that we're becoming the real deal.
Right. I'm sorry, but you broke up right when you were talking about your motto. Can you repeat that?
Sure. That one student at a time will make all the difference. Amen.
So again, people can find you at Facebook under John Gerard.
Yes, that's correct.
And on Twitter?
The Twitter name is Project Red Leaf.
Project Red Leaf, okay. And if they want to email you, it's john@projectredleaf.com.
That's correct.
And also, they've got a phone number here, the Red State article, 813-501-LEAF. Very cool.
That's us.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to share what you're doing. Could not be more proud to have you as a big dogger and part of our contingent at CPAC. And that's just about 5 weeks away. Looking forward to meeting you in person and working with you, John.
Oh, likewise. I'm so excited to see you and meet everyone else at CPAC, and I appreciate you having me on this evening, and I can't wait for big things to happen for both of us.
Excellent. Oh, and in the chat room, our very artistic friend, he has been absolutely blown away by you, very impressed with you, and he says, if you get a Facebook request from Transcendental Moonshine, please accept it. That's Richard. He is a phenomenal artist, poet, writer, and he's been beyond impressed, as all our other listeners in the chat room, and I did neglect to give a shout out to those listening over at FTR Radio and Ghost Fighter Radio, Free Zone Media Center, as well as the Right Stream Radio Network, and of course a hat tip to our friends at Liberachic.com. So again, God bless you, John, and your family, and we look forward to seeing you soon at CPAC.
All right. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you.
All right. Take care.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks, we have just a few minutes left in the show, so we're going to go ahead and close out today's show after that very impressive spotlight. Member, Mr. John Publicover, and we're going to close out today's show with a song by Mr. Buck Allen, and it's called Don't Tread on Me.
They're gonna pry these guns right out of my hands when it comes to take them away. I believe in the rights that my fathers gave me when they signed the Constitution that day. No misguided president or crooked politician with a greasy pocket be spared. When the hard-working man gets tired of your cry, it's gonna rain wrath, beware. Don't tread on me, I'm American free. You're not gonna take it away. I stand up to fight for my freedoms and rights. That's the price you'll have to pay. Don't tread on me, I'm American free. Red-blooded to the core. You ain't ever had a fight in your life like the fight that you're itching for. Well, it's a shame that it comes down to feeling like this. It's a shame, but I'll stand my ground. Your dirty politics and your backroom deals, they're disgraceful and profound. You better think about it now before you go too far. There's millions out here just like me. Liberty and justice, honor and pride, self-responsibility. Liberty and justice, honor and pride, self-responsibility. Don't tread on me, I'm American free. You're not gonna take it away. Stand up and fight for my freedoms and rights. That's the price you'll have to pay. Don't tread on me, I'm American free. Red-blooded to the core. You ain't ever had a fight in your life like the fight that you're reaching for. Liberty and justice, honor and pride, self-responsibility. You ain't ever had a fight in your life like the fight that you're itching for.
And that's going to do it for tonight's edition of Off the Hook here on BigDawg Music Radio. We hope that you've enjoyed the show and look forward to having you join us again next Saturday night, same time, same station, where we'll be chatting with yet another fabulous culture warrior and spinning some more fantastic music by the very talented artists at BigDawgMusicMafia.com. If you don't have any plans, we'd love to have you stick around for our second hour Afterburner, our live listener request show, where you get to pick the songs that we play. Just give us a call at 347-838-8898, and if we have the song, we'll be happy to play it. So until next week, keep your chin up, keep the faith, and keep up the good fight. I'm your host, Lisa May. Good night, Breitbart, wherever you are.